Hello, everybody. It's almost Christmas time. One of my favorite times of the year. One of my favorite books, too. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. I'm going to do the Jim Carrey version voice. Yes, I am. Three Owens. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be that perhaps that his shoes were too tight. No. But I think that the most likely reason of all might have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's. I like how he does that. Staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he startled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his fingers nervously drumming. I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early to rest their toys, and then all the noise. Noise. That's the one thing I hate, the noise. Then the Who's young and old will sit down to a feast. And they feast, and they feast, and they feast. They would feast on Who's pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'll stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They sing and they sing. And they sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got an wonderful, awful idea. I like how he does that in the cartoon. He goes, I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat, and he chuckled and clucked with a great Grinchy trick. With his coat and his hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. And he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. And the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" And the sleigh started down toward the home where the Who's lay news in their town. All their windows were dark, quite snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. Then he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop number 1. The old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof and threw bags in his fist. Then he slapped on his donkey Then he slid down the chimney, said Stocking. A rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He stuck only. He got stuck. Blah, I can't talk right now. He got stuck only once for a minute or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, with the little whose stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present: pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags one of the chimney. Nibbly. It rhymes with chimney. That's funny. Then he slung it to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He grinned out that ice cream as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Hello, killing time. I'm just reading one of my favorite Christmas stories to you all. Merry Christmas. There's kind of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stop up the tree. Merry Christmas to you too. And the Grinch grabbed a tree. He started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. Well, in the movie, she was like 8 or 9, I think. The Grinch had caught up with his tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. He stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking your Christmas tree? Why? Oh, thank you. I tried my best. But you know the old Grinch was just so smart and so click. He thought up a lie, and he thought up real quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. I don't think so. So I'm taking home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it down here. I'll bring it back here. And his fifth pulled the child, and he patted her head, and he took her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Here. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. All the walls he had left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the speck of food that he left for the house was a crown that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crowns much too small for the other Who's houses. Oh, Rudolph. Yeah. That's a good story, too. I know why Rudolph's nose is red. Good. And it was dawn, although Who's still abed, although Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. Trappings. That's funny. Well, it's Dr. Seuss. It's supposed to rhyme. Trappings, wrapping, and trappings. 3,000 feet up at the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Oh. The poo-poo to the Who's, he was graciously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They'll wake up. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, "Boo hoo!" That's a noise, the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his nose to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, and it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, that sound sounded merry. It couldn't be show, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, and he shook when he saw was a shocking surprise. Ooh. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any presents at all. He hadn't saw Christmas would come, and it came. Somehow or other, it did just the same. I love this book. It's one of my favorites. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, started puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. Then he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzle was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And when his heart didn't feel so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved a roast beast. Hello, Megan. Merry Christmas to you. I love this book. It's one of my favorite books. I got it at Sam's Club a couple of years ago. And yeah, I read it once on YouTube, and I wanted to read it live. Read some more. I like the illustrations in this book. For your heart, 3 sizes. Yeah, it's like Dr. Seuss's version of how. Do you have Santa's coming to? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, it's kind of like the Dr. Seuss version of A Christmas Carol with Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah, where he starts out mean and nasty, and then he becomes nice and caring at the end. Now I can't. My throat's a little sore from singing in church this morning. Yeah. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la, or something like that. Yeah, the children had their yeah, thank you. The Sunday school children had their Christmas Sunday school Christmas presentation of the Christmas story. I was helping. I played Caesar Augustus. Yeah. Yes, and I had a costume and everything. Well, I did it for the children. I felt kind of silly wearing that costume, but I did it for the children, and I did it for the Sunday school too. Yes, I know. I'm excited. I'm going to go to my parents' place, which I really enjoy doing. No, no, Rudy, I'm not. uh, I don't know. I don't know whether I like the original cartoon the best or the one with Jim Carrey the best. It's kind of a tie between. It is the most wonderful thing of the year. I mean, wonderful time of the year. It is my favorite time of the year, the busiest time of the year too. That's why I haven't been doing any food reviews because I've been so busy. Don't worry, after the first of the year, I'm going to be doing more food reviews for everybody. And you don't like the Jim Carrey one? Uh, that's your opinion. That's okay. You don't have to like the same thing as me. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I'm going to be pretty busy this week, getting ready for Christmas and all. So, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. You know, be with family. Open presents. Have food. We're gonna have ham. Uh, my brother and my sister-in-law and my nieces and nephew are coming over. Uh, yeah, my aunt Ruthie is coming on Christmas Day, supposedly. Yeah. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Oh, hey Brady, Merry Christmas to you. Unless you don't celebrate Christmas. Yeah, which is fine. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Yeah. I was just reading one of my favorite Christmas stories. How the Grinch stole Christmas. Well, he doesn't really steal Christmas. He thought he did, but he didn't. Oh, you're doing good? That's great. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. I hope you have a Merry Christmas too, Brady. So that's pretty much it. I'll see everybody next time. Huh? Merry Christmas.